All right. Now, I think that there are some easy personnel-related answers to what has changed since we saw Texas and Georgia play twice last season. Very clearly, we've got a different quarterback for both teams. Guess what? Didn't Carson get hurt in the SEC championship game? Gunner finished it out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But for the most part, different starting quarterbacks. We've got different personnel at the wide receiver position for both these teams. Texas lost some key defenders, but the coaches are still the same. The coaching staffs are still the same. So as we are thinking about the way that these two teams are trying to prepare for each other, Tom, how do you think both Steve Sarkisian and Kirby Smart, two coaches that because of their two meetings last year, because of their similar coaching tree, are going to have some familiarity? So what are going to be some of the keys, and what are we expecting to see that will be the same? What are we expecting to see that might be different in terms of how these teams attack each other?
Do you guys want an incredible stat?
Absolutely.
Last year, in the two meetings between these teams, Georgia had 13 sacks and 25 tackles for loss in two games. This season, Georgia has 11 sacks and 35 tackles for loss.
Boy, that's something that looks different.
Yeah. So I think, I've spent a lot of time talking about it. We've spent a lot of time talking about the Texas offensive line, how bad it has been and how much pressure Arch Manning has been under. Well, as those stats I just shared tell you, Georgia's pass rush hasn't exactly been a monster this year. It certainly hasn't been what we saw last year in these meetings. So that's going to be a very interesting matchup, I think, to watch. And I also think, just to take this home further, we've talked about how Georgia's defense isn't the same unit that we're typically used to seeing. It's not the elite, national title units. But here's just a spot, just to give everybody a taste in case they aren't entirely sure of what we mean when we say that. Here's where Georgia's defense ranks in certain stats. Points per drive, 48th. Success rate, 49th. EPA per dropback allowed, 108th. Pressure rate, going back to the stat I just mentioned, 120th. Sack rate, 122nd. Negative play rate, 78th. So this Georgia defense is not very good. If Texas isn't able to move the ball against them, that is a big problem for Texas. But I do think that with the way Georgia's offense has gone this year, Texas is going to have to score points to win this game. And I think that has been a problem for Texas because on the season, they're averaging 2.25 points per drive, which only ranks 72nd nationally. But in SEC play, that drops to 1.95. So what are we going to see from the Longhorns offense here?
Well, you've seen a whole lot of short passes and a whole lot of yak from them in recent weeks. You haven't really seen much of a renewal of the run game. They've just been turning some of these, short plays into explosives. Obviously, some are screens. So, Georgia is going to have to tackle really well against Texas. I don't really think Texas. I mean, they have no run game all year. Georgia's run D is actually pretty good, I think. Now their pass rush is an issue. I don't know if it matters how much their pass rush is an issue on some of these short passes. I think you're going to look for Georgia guys to really get their hands up. We've got to have a lot of passes batted down, especially if you're trying to throw any kind of short stuff over the middle. But a lot of it is are you playing well through blocks with your DBs, right? Your apex defenders and those guys have got to get out there. They've got to they got to hit it before it gets going because Texas really does have a lot of creativity with a lot of their short stuff. To me, if Texas tackles well on the perimeter on these short stuff, I think they'll win the game easily. Not easily because Texas is the best defense.
If Georgia tackles well, yeah.
If Georgia tackles well on the outside against Texas on these short passes, assuming Texas doesn't get any kind of real run game going, I think they'll win the ball game. Texas is the best defense Georgia's faced. I think pretty clearly.
Yeah.
I mean, definitely better than Tennessee, definitely better than Alabama.
Yeah.
Not by a huge amount, but I think I would take them. So I don't know how many points Georgia's going to put up, but their offense has been looking better and better. The offensive line is looking better. I know the competition is Mississippi State. Obviously, I bet Georgia last week. I thought Mississippi State, they don't really match up personnel-wise with the team like Georgia, but Georgia's offense has been looking better. It just comes down to can they tackle on the outside, right? Now, they've been burnt deep a couple times by teams this year, but Texas is not really a deep passing team.
Mhm.
So it's a different calculus than what you saw from Tennessee and Alabama.
Georgia's defense playing at home, and Bud, you mentioned this. As I was looking at it, I was thinking, what do I feel the most confident in? It's a lot of the linebackers. Wouldn't you be happy to let those
Yes.
like elite athletes go out there and try to make plays? Now, if they don't make plays, Texas has a good chance to go into Athens and pull off a win. They've got that kind of athleticism on the perimeter at the skill positions. But if I'm a Georgia fan, I like the way that those pieces line up against each other, where if Texas just wants to go out and test your tackling, guess what? I love sending my linebackers to go make those tackles.
Fully agree. Yeah. Georgia also doesn't throw deep a whole lot. So the analysis I just gave applies basically the same, except I think Texas offensive line is a way bigger liability than Georgia's offensive line is. And obviously playing in Athens is a little more detrimental to the road team with the noise.
Anecdotally, I don't have the numbers pulled up. Gunner does feel good for about 4 ropes down the sideline per game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think
Usually when blitzed.
is that he gets the one-on-one and he's like, okay. And which
His-
again, what a joy. What a joy for a quarterback to say, hey, I've got this unbelievable athlete over here in single coverage. Let's just throw it up there and see if he can go make a play. Very old school SEC power right there, where it's not like we're running air raid. We're not dicing you up. We're not playing with tempo. But yeah, if we get the right coverage, we throw this 20 yards down the sideline, we might have a guy who's 6'7" and able to go and make that play over your defensive back.
Yeah,
I was doing radio this, or go ahead, Tom.
I was going to say, typically a quarterback's hot read is like a little dump off in the side, to the side. For Gunner, his hot read is just a go route down the sideline.
Right. Okay. That's again, just sort of pulling this off of the top of the head in terms of my notebook here, in terms of the way they function. All right. Sorry, Bud. Go ahead.
So I was on the radio this morning and they asked me, like, what's the number at which Georgia says, yeah, like, we'll take play deal or no deal. If I give you 24 points, are you saying deal, walking home, or are you holding out for 27? Like, do you feel really good about winning this game if you score 24?
Not yet.
I want 27.
Yeah,
I think I feel really good at 24. Just if you look at it, like, look who Texas has been scoring against, right? It's Vandy, whose defense is I'm not saying falling apart, but like Auburn diced them. So it's not like that's a real good trajectory they're on. Mississippi State gets, like, everybody scores on them. So is the Texas offense truly fixed? They are operating a little bit differently, but again, who you play matters.
Would also point out for this matchup too, Texas's 4 road games are, the loss at Ohio State, the loss at Florida, overtime to beat Kentucky, and then barely beating Mississippi State.
Florida destroyed that Texas O-line. Like, I thought Arch actually moved around pretty well, and like, he had some missed throws, but he had a lot of people around him.
Going back to the Gunner hot read thing, the reason I understood that is because it was just one thing I think that the Texas defense needs to do, if you look statistically anyway, is can they get pressure without blitzing? Because they really haven't. Like, they rank 101st nationally in pressure to blitz rate. Georgia, by the way, is 117th. But like Stockton, as I just mentioned, when he's blitzed, he's throwing that hot read go route down the sideline, and he's great at it. He's unleashed some absolutely beautiful throws in those situations. So you look at his numbers against the blitz, they're actually pretty good. It's just when he's under pressure and he isn't getting rid of the ball because he doesn't, have man on man right off the snap, he is terrible. So it's going to be interesting to see if Texas is able to get guys collapsing the pocket and not give him those easy outs and force him to actually play quarterback, because when he's in those situations, he's not thriving.
Statistically, Texas's run defense has been really, really good this year. Florida had a little bit of success, really committed to it in terms of the run game. And obviously Kentucky doesn't, that's what you got to do. Right. Do you think that Georgia, we have given Georgia's offense some flowers for the steps forward they've taken in the run game this week? Talked about it on Monday upon further review. Do you think that they're going to be able to run the ball against this Texas defense?
Not like run it down their throat. They might have a few decent runs, but I don't know, man. Like, they haven't been that great running the ball all year, and this is one of the better run defenses in the country. So
Right.
my gut says no, probably not.
I'm trying to think. Like, how many good run games has Texas faced? Ohio
Vanderbilt.
State's decent. Vandy clearly can run it, typically. Oh, they were in a funk against Missouri too. Like they couldn't run against Missouri in that little stretch they were in. Texas played Mississippi State, which is kind of up and down. Oklahoma does not have much of a run game, although last time out they did. I kind of think Georgia can run it a little bit here.
I think that'd be huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
What other any other notes here? Obviously, this one Saturday night, 7:30, between the hedges, all of the stakes, all of the all of the implications that are coming out of this. What stands out here in the matchup?
The stakes for this game?
No, like it's a big stage game. It's the game that everyone's going to be like sitting around to watch. So where else should people have their eyes?
I mean, is somebody going to step up at receiver for Texas? Like, I think Georgia has faced two better receiving corps than Texas, for sure. And I would take Tennessee's, and I would certainly take Alabama's. Like, do they have a guy who goes off and really just helps them win the game down the field? Like, that's going to be a big thing. I kind of think Georgia can cover these guys. Maybe this will be clipped, and I'll be totally wrong. But also, Arch Manning's legs. Texas traditional run game, not really there. It's been a couple weeks since that Mississippi State shot. I think him running the football is potentially the X factor in this.
Yeah, we Chambliss did some extend drive running. I don't remember Chambliss specifically like tearing them up. That would be the most mobile quarterback that we faced recently.
Aguilar doesn't have a guy. Mississippi State doesn't really have a guy. Like, Shapen's not some kind of great athlete.
Yeah.
Kentucky, no. Florida, no, not this year. Yeah, you're right. Exactly. I mean, of course you're right. But, like, yes, it's it'll be interesting to see how they defend it.
Yeah. Let me throw one last call a shot on here on Wednesday morning. Let's go London Humphreys. A big unleash London down the field kind of play. I could see it here.